Hello everyone. Now today I am going to continue my class on NumPys. Last time we had studied about how to create 1D arrays using different functions. Now today I am going to tell you about how to create 2D arrays using the various functions available with the Python. So for creating 2D arrays, now today's topic is that we are going to create 2D arrays. Now when I am going to create a 2D array, I will use two functions that we have already studied while we were studying about the 1D array. First one that we are going to use is the array function. Now remember the array function? Array function used to be means it could be used only with lists and tuples. This constant is with this also, with the method for 2D arrays also, that this will be used only for lists and arrays. Now when I am talking about lists and arrays, you all know how to do it. Now one more thing that is to be kept in mind: when we were creating 1D list, the list was single, but when I am creating it for 2D array, we will be using nested lists and tuple. Now how I am going to show you? It's very simple, as we have done it for the 1D array. So what was the syntax? The syntax for the 1D arrays was, again I am going to declare the function. First I am going to declare list1. Now this is a nested list, so I will be having a list within a list, where each element of the list will be a list. So it is a nested list. So I am having 1, 2, 3, comma. This is one list. For example, this is L1, and another list, that is 4, 5, 6. Now this is a nested list. So when I am going to use it with a function, how will I use it? np.array, and we will convert list1. So I will give it a name. AR1 is equal to np.array.list1. So if I write print AR1, what will be the result? The result I am going to get is array, and then it will be enclosed 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. This will be the result that you are going to use when you are going to apply array function on a nested list. So next method that I am going to discuss about is the arrange function. Now arrange function also we have studied with the 1D arrays. When I am talking about the arrange function, this function method will be having two steps. What will be the two steps? First step will be, we will create 1D array by arrange. We know how to use arrange function to create a 1D array. Then the second function will be, we will be using the reshape function to change the shape from 1D to 2D. Now do you remember what is a shape? Shape shows the row and column arrangement of a array. So if I write 3 cross 4, yeah, shape is equal to 3, 4. So it means there will be 3 rows and 4 columns, m cross n. So I'll show you how. I'll give you an example. So for example, I am having a tuple this time. Let T1 is equal to be a tuple. Okay. T1 is a tuple that we are going to create by using, first of all, I am going to use the arrange function. Now I am having a arrange function. I will be using np. I am creating a 1D array. AR1 is equal to np.arrange 10. Now this we know what will happen. What will be the output if I say print AR1? the result will be, what will be the output? Output will be a 1D function starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. That means these 10 elements will become a array. Okay, now this will be a array that we have created. Now I will use the reshape function. What I'll do, I'll write AR2 is equal to reshape. Now, what are the arguments we need with the reshape function? We will be using the reshape function along with the array, and then we will be using the I should say the declaration. So this is equal to AR1 dot reshape 3, or I will write 2 cross 5. Here 2 comma 5. So what will it do? It will create 2 rows with 5 columns, and your output will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and then I will be having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be my array. Is it clear to everyone? Now, if I do the reshape, if I change the reshape function, I can change the reshape function also. For example, if I write this again, if I am writing AR3 is equal to AR1 dot reshape, okay, reshape 5 comma 2. Now what will happen? This will be creating what? This will be creating 5 rows and 2 columns. So what will happen? It will be 0 comma 1, 2 comma 3, 4 comma 5, 6 comma 7, 8 comma 9. This will become what? This will become a different array. Is it clear to everyone? Now, next we are going to study about some alternate methods of creating arrays, whether they are 1D or 2D. Now, with this, some alternate methods. Now, after creating these kinds of arrays, there are some needs that need to be, like, you all know about the identity matrix, you know about matrix of zeros, matrix of ones, how they will be created. If I use this method, it will be too tedious because I am entering each value again and again. So to remove this, first thing is that if I want to create a empty array, now maybe if I am using Python for some data storage purpose, the purpose of storing data or taking it from user. So what will I do? I will create an array, empty array, and that will be used for storing values afterwards. So how do we do that? For doing that, first we will be using the empty function. Now, this empty function is used to create array that is empty. Now, empty means there is nothing stored. But do you think, is it possible that in a memory nothing is stored and it's blank? I should say it's practically not possible. Whenever we create anything that is empty, it is filled with garbage values, random values that will be changed later. So when I am defining the data type giving is also optional, as I have told you earlier also. So as I am giving the data type or I am creating it without the data type also, it will be created with garbage values depending upon the data type that I am using. So how will I use it? For example, my array is E1 is equal to np.empty, then I have to mention what? First thing that is to be mentioned is the shape. I will be showing the shape, then D type. Now again, as I am putting it in the square brackets, this shows this value is optional, and again there is a value order that is optional. Now this order can have two values, C or F. Now this is also an optional value, but if we give it, what will happen? Data type, this data type shape you all know, the arrangement of the matrix, the arrangement of the array that is being created, and D type. D type is the data types that are defined in the arrays of Python. I have shown you, it was on page number 297. And then order. Order means the way it is stored in the contiguous memory, that is row major order and column major order. Now C denotes row major order and F stands for Fortran, that is column major order. Here one thing that is to be noted is that in your books there is a printing mistake, that C and F both are written as column major order. So please note that in your books there is a correction. C type is row major order and F type is the column major order. So if I need to give an example, how will I do it? I will write E1 is equal to NP dot empty, and here very easily I can mention the shape, for example 5, 2. So what will happen? A 5, 2 matrix will be formed with random float values. Now why float? Because float is the default data type for arrays and C will be default type for your orders. That means if you don't give anything, the data will be stored in the row major order. Is it clear? I hope this will be enough for this. Now, like empty, I can use, now this is an empty one. Now for example, for performing scalar operation or for performing operations where we need specific array to take the values, we can create an array using the zeros function. Now what is the zeros? The zeros function is used to create an array that is filled with zeros. Now there are some places where we need, that we will be seeing later, where we need to add, subtract or perform any kind of operation with an array that is filled with 0. So how I am going to do it? Again the argument is same, array name is equal to np dot zeros, then shape comma D type comma orders. Now shape, data type, order, this will remain same as that we have seen for the empty arrays. Then np, you all remember, this is the alias name, and array name I can give any. So for example, if I want to give an example, I will be writing z1 is equal to np dot zeros 2, 3, int 32, f. So this will be my declaration, and what will be the output? The output for this will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This will be the output. Now similarly, as we have done it for zeros, we can do it for ones also. Now this ones is also the same kind of function. Now the difference is ones will be using function, ones will be using giving a matrix resulting into a matrix that is filled with ones. I will show you the syntax. Syntax will be O1, that is the name, is equal to numpy. Now as I have told you, whether I can use the alias name or I can use numpy. Numpy dot once. Then I will be writing the shape, for example 3/3. Then I am closing this. So what will happen? I will get the matrix filled with ones. Okay. Now after this I will like to discuss about the like function. Now what is like? Like is a function that will help you to avoid, that will help you to skip these steps of declaration. Like sometimes it happens that I need an empty array as a already created array, or a array filled with zeros like a already created array, or the array filled with ones. I have told you for some particular kind of operations. So if I am doing it, there is a simple function like. I will be using it. For example, I want to create a matrix filled with zeros like a particular given function. So I will write zeros underscore like, and then I will write the name of the existing array. Name of existing array. So the resultant, like if I write A1 is equal to zeros underscore like the existing array. Similarly, this can be used with ones, this can be used with empty also. I hope that you will be understanding this. Please open your books, see the functions. If there is any queries, you can post your doubts. For today, I think it's all done. From on the next turn, I am going to discuss about different accessing of individual array items and functions of working with arrays like slicing and concatenation of arrays. Thank you so much.